Here we are, back with Chapter 7, and drum roll please, the first P of the marketing mix, products. So this is the idea that product versus a service. Products, and this is right from the book, that can be offered to a market for attention, acquisition, use, consumption that satisfies a want or need, and whereas a service is an activity that's offered for sale. It's intangible and doesn't result in ownership. Okay, so if we talk about the goal is that you want core customer value, right? And then from that, there's two ways that people achieve that. One is the product itself, the actual product there, and then you talk about the augmented product. So the product itself is what you can see, feel, touch, the quality, the packaging, the design of it, the brand name. Brand name plays a big role. And then the augmented product are all the other things that go around with it. So the delivery and credit, the product support, warranty, after-sales service. So for example, think of like the Geek Squad that's available. You see all these mattress sales on mattress and television ads on, and they talk about, free delivery and credit for a certain period of time. That would also be part of the augmented product. Okay, so there's types of products. Essentially, we talk about 4 different types of products. Convenience products. Things like toothpaste is a convenience product, or shampoo. They're things you buy quite often. Later in the semester, we're going to talk about convenience stores. Don't confuse convenience stores with convenience products. So there are things that you don't really think about. You just go and buy them. You always buy the same kind of toothpaste. You always buy the same kind of beer. You always buy the same kind of sneakers, whatever. Shopping products is something that you don't buy quite as often, and you might do some comparison shopping on. Usually higher priced items such as televisions or furniture, household equipment, cars, that kind of thing. A specialty product is a product that you really, really, really want. You are completely brand loyal. You don't necessarily think about the price. You just go and do it. So as I said, they're usually high-end products like a Rolex watch, or a vacation at Atlantis, or maybe a specific type of car. It's a specialty product, and you have strong brand preference, and you're very loyal to it. And unsought products are products that you don't necessarily know about. You don't anticipate that you're going to have to buy it. Not to be a downer, but funeral services would be something like that. Maybe your hot water tank blows, and you got to go buy a new hot water tank. You weren't expecting it. You really don't know anything about hot water tanks. So it's an unsought product. So again, convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsought. All right, so product and service decisions. What we're going to really spend a lot of time talking about in this chapter are the 3 middle ones: branding, packaging, and labeling. And then those ones on the outside, the product attributes on the far left and the product support services on the far right, are those things that we talked about with the augmented and the actual product. All right, so product line decisions. There's product line and there's product mix. So the product line are things that are closely related. They have similar functions, and they're part of the same customer group. So for example, cereal or candy bars would be all the product line. Running shoes or athletic shoes. Every company divides things up in terms of product category, product mix, and product line differently. Do you remember that the graphic I showed you early on in the semester? It's like 10 companies that own everything. You can kind of see like the product mix is everything they sell. They might be related or they might not be related, and product lines are more individual. It also might go to price or where you're selling them. So you might have a line of products. Like one example would be the Gap, Old Navy, and Banana Republic, all owned by the same company, all different product lines. They have similar customers, and the product mix would be the 3 of them. So anyway, then the product line length is the number of items in the product line. Okay, product mix, set of all product lines and items that a particular seller offers for sale. And then when you talk about the product mix, you talk about a variety of different things. One is the width of the product, the number of different types of product lines a company carries. Like PepsiCo, for example, has soda, and it has chips and all that kind of stuff. That's like the wealth of the width of it. How many different types of things do they have? The length is the total number of items So within its product lines, they might have lots and lots of things in each product line. The depth is a number of versions. So for example, Cheerios has a lot of depth. M&Ms have a lot of depth. And consistency, how many things are in each uh, product in the line. So how many different versions, and how similar are they? All right, so let's talk about characteristics of a service: intangible, variable, inseparable, perishable. So examples of services would be things like concert tickets, or an airplane ride, or legal services, medical services, massages, haircuts, that kind of thing. So intangible, that you can't see it, feel it, taste it, hear it. There's nothing that is part of the five senses. Inseparable. So think about a concert. There's a concert coming up actually, tonight as I'm typing this. Maroon 5 is in Buffalo. So if you can't really compare a Maroon 5 concert to, say, a Kanye West concert. It's inseparable. They're both concerts. It's both music, but you can't separate the two from the provider, the service from the provider. Variable. It might depend upon who provides them, when, and how. If you want to take the music thing, it's like I said, music is music, but you're going to get a different experience with Kanye West than you are with Maroon 5 than you are with Adele. Or a haircut. You might go to Supercuts, and depending upon who gives you the haircut, it's going to change. Still a haircut, but it varies. And then perishability. The value of the concert ticket the day after the concert is 0. The value of the plane ticket after the plane takes off is 0. So inseparable. They're inseparable. They're from the provider. They're perishable. They're intangible, and they vary depending upon the situation. Okay, so brand. We are constantly bombarded with brands. The Nike swoosh, the Adidas, the 3 leaves on top with the lines underneath. Under Armour, the U and the A that intertwine, all sorts of things. The G for General Mills, the logo for Walt Disney. So it's all together that identify the product or a group of products. And they differentiate them from competitors. So if you see the Under Armour logo, it's not Nike. It's not Adidas. It's not Champion. That's brand. But a bigger part of brand is this idea of brand equity. Now, for those of you who've taken accounting already, you know what equity means: ownership or value. When you talk about equity, it means value. So what's the value of the brand? And brand values can change. So if the goal is to have positive brand equity, and the brand of Volkswagen, for example, went down. The brand equity on Volkswagen went down when they had that emissions issue. The brand value on GM went down when they had the ignition issue. Well, these kinds of things. So, it's the idea of equity. If you were to go and sell, it's another term for it is goodwill. If you were to go and sell the business, how much would that brand be worth? It's the idea of brand equity. And of course, the big ones are Nike has great brand equity. Walt Disney has great brand equity for their movies and their theme parks, that kind of thing. All right, brand sponsorship. There's a couple of different ways you can go through this. National brands are marketed under the manufacturer's own name: General Mills, Nestle, Keebler, Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble. Store brands are brands that are created and owned by the reseller of a product or service. So, for example, Target has Massimo, and you see this a lot. It changes in in what do you call it? Pharmaceuticals. So you buy contact lens solution. It's the generic brand. It might be Top Care. It might be Best Brand, whatever. So it's a store brand. Licensing is the permission to use a well-known movie character. Well, they said in this one, symbols for other companies, well-known movie characters or celebrities for a fee. So it could be, a Power Ranger or a Teletubby or whatever it might be. It can also be licensing. Coca-Cola, I'm sorry, Pepsi, has licensing agreements, and they're bottled in different places, and they can use the logo on them. Then co-branding is using 2 companies on the same product: Haagen-Dazs and Dove Chocolate, for example. Okay, so remember back in the beginning, we had all these different graphs and charts and graphs and charts. So one of them was market penetration with the new markets and new products, and we had market penetration and market development. Same kind of thing with product categories. So and brand name. So if you have an existing brand name with an existing okay, so line extension would be, for example, M&Ms with additional M&Ms. They have plain, they have peanut, they have peanut butter, they have pretzel, they have crunchy, whatever. Cheerios, they have regular Cheerios, whole wheat Cheerios. That would be a line extension. Okay, so existing brand name and a new product category would be brand extension. Like, so for example, Cheerios now makes, breakfast bars, or Special K has all those different things. Existing product category, but a new brand name would be like Pepsi. They have Pepsi as Pepsi, Mountain Dew, that kind of thing. And then new brands, new brand name, new product category with Toyota with Scion, for example. They have it's a new type of car for Toyota, and it's also a new brand name. I'm sorry, and it's also a new type of car, so a new product category. Okay, and then finally labeling and packaging. So we can talk, there's all sorts of things you can talk about with labeling and packaging. Okay, so I know this is kind of pathetic. I'm showing you a water bottle, the Poland Spring water bottle with the top and everything. Okay, so think about that water bottle. Safety, there's the ring on the top that it's not yet open, but you can tell it hasn't been opened because there's that safety ring. And also safety in terms of its, the strength of the bottle itself. And I can't, if I could put it on my keyboard without screwing up my keyboard, I would do it, but I can't do that. I'm sorry. I would get rid of the slide. So, but everyone's familiar with the water bottle. So anyway, so the safety usage, it helps with usage. So it's an individual serving that you can bring around with you. You can stick it in your bag or carry it around, as opposed to having a big water bottle. Brand recognition, of course, you see the Poland Spring label on the front, so you recognize that. There's brand identity. And it can create customer satisfaction. So one way with this one it creates customer satisfaction is there's that grip on the bottom. See how it kind of goes in? There's that grip there. And then also with the top, you have the choice between using it as a squirt bottle or drinking it right out of the top. So it would be customer satisfaction. And then, of course, it has information on it, what's in it, the origin, the amount of water that's in there. Promotion, it's telling you about, it gives you information about here we go, learn about Poland Spring, polandspring.com. Or another promotion could be, classic example of Tim Hortons and Roll Up the Rim. So you can say label and packaging. As I said, people get degrees in labeling and packaging science. There are whole departments that focus on it. It helps you recognize the brand. Also, you think of like laundry detergent. The liquid laundry detergent has the cap that you can measure the laundry detergent in. Labeling and packaging is important. It's something that people think about a lot. The colors they choose, if it's going to stand out against other products on the shelf, that kind of thing. So, okay, so that wraps up Chapter 7, Products, Services, and Brands. And next we're going to talk a little bit more about products. We're going to stay on the same P in terms of developing new products. So we'll see you at Chapter 8. Thanks, guys.